Hima? Siya ba magre-record? Or Shima?
Apo, sir.
Nag-start ka na or ready ka na?
Naka-record na po, sir.
Naka-record na. Sige. Ulitin ko lang yung introduction ko kanina kasi para masama siya sa recording natin ngayon. So, once again, class, good morning. So, ayan, before we start our reporting again, so I would like to greet our Dean, Dr. Aliberti Tito, and to our magnanimous Deputy Deans, Mr. Arnel Ingaliado, and to our beautiful program advisor, Ma'am Kathleen Dalope. So, they are not here because of hectic schedule. So today we have two reporters, and let's start with Karim. Karim, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start sharing your speaker.
Open na, sir.
Yes, okay lang.
Sir, meron na? Okay. Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmates. Ito yung continuation ng report namin ni Nachal Bidita, yung disease management in aquaculture. So, let's start with the prevention of drug resistance. First, ensure correct diagnosis of the case. Second, the use of prescribed dosage for a given period. Third, restrict use of drugs. Simultaneously administer through drugs that will not result in a cross resistance. And last, strictly observe implementation of clearance withdrawal period before the fish or shrimp can be harvested or consumed. So let's proceed in principle of bioassay. Principle of bioassay. A biological assay is a procedure involving the use of the responses of aquatic organisms to detect or measure the presence or effect of one or more substances risk or environmental factors alone or in combination. Principle of bioassay is an analytical method to determine the concentration or potency of a substances by its effect on the aquatic organism. And next is a type of bioassay. So there are three types of bioassay, such as short-term, intermediate, and long-term. So in the short term, it shows the relative sensitivity of various organisms of variables like temperature and pH. It is also determined the median diesel concentration or LC50 or the effective concentration values. In intermediate, it is used when the lethal concentration determination requires additional time. Usually it takes 8 to 90 days. And then the last is the long term. So in a long term, it determines the maximum allowable toxic concentration or the safe concentration for indicating water quality standard. So let's proceed in method of adding test solution. So there are four method of adding test solution. First is the static. This the test animal remain in the same test concentration for the duration of the test. Next, the renewal. This is a static test where the test animal are transferred to a fresh test solution of the same composition at the periodic intervals. Next, the recirculation. This test it involves the circulation of the test solution through the chambers. It may be treated by aeration, filtration, and sterilization rather. Quantities of dilution water and the stark toxicant solution are mixed and delivered periodically through test container to provide continuous flow through of the test toxicant. And next is the test procedure. So these are the criteria for selecting and preparing test animal. First is the sensitivity to the materials under consideration. Second, availability and abundance. Recreational, economic, and ecological importance. Adaptability to laboratory conditions. Suitability for bioacid tests originating from a single common source. Next is the uniform in size and of the stage maturity. Next, the healthy, free from disease and parasite. No previous exposure to heavy metals, pesticides, and other substances. Next is the acclimation to laboratory conditions for at least 10 days. And last, during acclimation, provide for daily feeding. Mortality should be less than 10% of the total pollution. And next is experimental water. The water should not be polluted or contaminated with the waste of any sources. Next is the experimental design. There should be a minimum high test concentration and control in at, in at least duplicate containers. Next, the test container. Glass aquaria should be clean and of uniform size and shape. They should be measured 15 to 30 centimeter depth and should be arranged at random in a testing area. Next is the test concentration. Express liquid waste concentration as percent on a volume to volume basis. Express concentration of non-aqueous waste and of individual chemical composition by weight. And let's proceed in the number of test animal or biomass. Number one, there should be at least 10 animals per concentration. Number two, less than 10 animals may be used for the range finding test. Three, there should be a maximum of 1 gram fish per liter of water. And last, to distribute animals at random by adding one at a time to each container. Next, the preparing test solution. The solution must be freshly prepared. Also, avoid unnecessary exposure to air and light. Next is the feeding. Do not feed for at least 2 days before the test. Do not feed during the entire experimental period for short-term tests. Next, the biological data and observation. Observe and record mortality at periodic intervals. Next, the physical and chemical water quality. It measures temperature, salinity, hardness, alkalinity, pH, dissolved oxygen, ammonia, and nitrates at the beginning of the test and daily thereafter. And next is the calculation, analysis, and reporting of results. The recommended measure of indices of relative toxicity, toxicity are 48 and 96 are lethal concentrations. Also, compute for 95% confidence limits for ALSA50 and EC50 values. The most widely used method for calculating lethal concentration and confidence limit are probit and logic, moving average, and Litchfield Wilkinson. And then Linlang. Linlang, sir. Sir,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir.
Okay, do you have your report, class? Okay,
Ay,
ready na ba yung iba? Dito si Dita, tsaka si I see Sabta, tsaka Dalahin.
Online class ba?
Well, so I have a question, Kani. Among the four bioacids, which do you think is the best?
Come on. Come again, sir.
Among four bioacids that you
Sir
mentioned,
Choppy, sir.
Shopee, uh, so what we got? Okay, that's ko na lang ang question. So Karim, can you read my question?
Great. Among the four bioacids that is just what do you think is the best? The four types of bioacid
Yes,
or
Karim.
the four methods?
Yes, yung four methods.
Yung ano sir, the read. Wait a minute.
Can you share your slides again?
Okay pa.
Doon na part sa
Dito sir, sa may here. Then sir,
three types of bioacid. Among types of bioacid, which do you think the way to use?
siguro yung ano sir, yung long term. Tama ba? Kasi it determines the maximum allowable oxygen concentration.
So if you
Para Sige, ano, sir?
So if you want to measure the pressure waste, let's say, the, ano, yung sa chemical waste, so what types of bias should be used? Or to test the chemical substances in the water, what's the big bias say?
Sir,
Yes.
I do not know.
So from that, ano, lines of thought, anong type of bias? So what's the difference between a short term? Can you go back to the slide? What's the difference between short term, intermediate, and long term bioassay?
It's a ano, shows the sensitivity of various organisms. I know. In sa short term,
Yes.
the concentration or the effective concentration value. While sa intermediate, ano pa, yung pa, result concentration is not determined with additional time. While yung long no, it determines the
Ano yun? Medyo traffic.
sir. Sir,
Can you repeat? Can you repeat the difference
sa short
between
term,
the three?
sa short term, it determines the effective concentration values. While in intermediate,
Yes.
it is used when the concentration requires additional time. And then, sa long term is,
Sa long term.
it determines the ano, toxicant concentration or safe concentration.
Okay. So,
Sir, nag-PM ako sa'yo,
thank
sir.
you. Okay, wait. Naghang yung yan. Towards experiencing certain problem distributed as class. class na Karim. Karim, pwede ka lang mag-leave. Kasi may duty pa pala siya. So, ito na ba yung ibang reporter? Wala pa rin. So, mag-take over mo na ako na so, turn yan. Okay, class, that ends our class today. And thank you for attending our online class. So let's check your attendance. This will serve as your quiz today. So please stay present when your name is called. Norshima,
Present, sir.
Abby, Ahmad. Ahmad wala. Balaban. Kasi
Present, sir.
present Balaban. Casimiro.
Present, sir.
Cristobal.
Present, sir.
De las Peñas.
Present,
De
sir.
las Peñas wala.
Meron.
Delson.
Sir, present.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Tita Galea, present. Galea.
Present, sir. Present, sir.
Inciso. Narciso? Wala. Inopia?
Present, sir.
Iolaga? Halali? Halali Rafael? Wala. Jason Marcel? Maria Marcel? Jason?
Present, sir. Present.
Chabelita? Wala. Karin? Present. Luna Andrian? Luna? Wala. Mariana Raymar? Mariano? Wala. Marino? Marino Renzo?
Blackout na sa kanila, sir.
Okay. Mo Sali?
Sir, present po.
Samdal? Wala. Salahin? Wala. Samson? Morgan? Sapali? Abidjan?
Sir.
Ibanez? Queenie?
Present, sir.
Okay. Thank you again for attending. So, this is our last meeting for this SEM. I hope you learned a lot from me. Do you have
Thank you, sir.
questions? Do you have questions? Concern, queries? Wala
Wala
na.
naman po. Sir, thank you, sir.
Ang ilan na lang yung
Sige.
class natin.
Ano yun, Richard?
Hanggang kailan na lang yung klase ngayon, sir?
Ngayon lang. So, yung mga hindi nakapag-report, sorry, pero hindi ko alam kung ano gagawin ko sa kanila. So, hanggang dito na lang yung class natin, class for 2022. Okay, let's take a
Sir, una. Yung module, sir, hanggang kailan, ano, yung mga activity, wala lang mga
yung
date.
module, so until mamaya hapon. Kasi nag-check na ako. So, pag matapos ko na ma-check yun, hindi na pwede mag-submit. So, until mamaya na lang, kahit 11:59 p.m.
Hindi na pwede, sir.
Oo. Tsaka yung kay Sir Macari na, yung activity, narrative report, yung chapter 1. So, dapat nakapag-submit kayo nun kasi kasali yun sa laboratory output niyo.
Sige po, sir. Thank you.
Wait lang sa sorry na.
So,
Si Jason Marcel, hindi nakapag-exam. Final. Saan si Jason? Nag-leave na?
Nag-leave na yun, sir?
Nakisabi sa kanya parang wala siyang picture sa record for final exam. And then wala din siyang laboratory. Laboratory tsaka lecture.
Excuse me, sir. Pwede na mag-leave, sir, no?
Sige. Nag-take na ba ng photo? Si ano? Sige na class, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Bye.